cheers to another episode of the Wine Notes Podcast. I'm your guide, AJ Winezettel, on this journey of stories showcasing the people behind the wonderful world of wine, where we dive into conversations ranging from terroir, viticulture, to favorite music, superpowers, and more. Please enjoy this episode of the Wine Notes Podcast. Dave, Lois, thank you so much for taking the time today to join me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you. It was great seeing you last month at the Oregon Chardonnay celebration, and wow, it's hard to believe that it's already been a month since that happened. And time is just flying by this year, it seems like.
Wow, has it already been a month?
Well, I mean, we're like March. Oh my gosh, we're March 19th or something, or I mean, it's crazy. Maybe it hasn't been exactly a month, but close to it.
Oh, we don't know what date it is.
Yeah, life is a blur right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine y'all have been busy for quite some time. Yeah. Oh, but at the Oregon Chardonnay celebration, you were telling me that you're pouring out an Oscar party. How did that go?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We randomly got this email from someone who runs these parties, and so it was a pre-Oscar party the week prior to the Oscar award ceremony. And yeah, we got to go and just pour our wines for some nominees and influencers and people in the industry. And so it was pretty cool to be on site and see the flashy Beverly Hills culture. A little bit of a shock coming straight from the farm.
Just little differences here and there.
Just a tad. But it was a lot of fun, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I was really excited to, for you to tell me and hear about it. And then, to see the post and stuff. That's just, I know that we connected, I don't know, late 2020, at least for a little bit there. And then also, I think summer of 21 for my sparkling report. And just to see how you all have just like went, woof. It's just been absolutely fun and fascinating. But your new vineyard, right? I know that you have a new vineyard, Laurelwood District. But tell me all the information.
So our vineyard is actually in the Chehalem Mountains AVA.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Laurelwood District AVA is where we sourced our grapes initially, with Laurel Vineyard being our first vineyard partner that we worked with. And so yes, Laurelwood District used to be within the Chehalem Mountains AVA. So technically you're right. And so, yeah, so our vineyard is in the Chehalem Mountains AVA, and it's in the southern tip of Hillsborough. The funny thing about that site is that with Yamaha County, we're trying to figure out what the exact address was. And it was between like Newburgh, Hillsborough, Gaston, and it was like where it all converged. So it took us nearly 6 months to actually get an address and know exactly what city we were in.
Oh my goodness. So how big is the vineyard, and how many acres, and what do you have planted, and how many?
In total, it's about 77 acres, and plantable acres are somewhere between 30 and 35 acres. We have 4 acres right now planted baby vines, and then about 4.5 acres going into spring as well. And then we're trying to be up to, if we have money left over, or if we sell enough wine this summer, we'll plant the rest of like 7 acres or so next spring.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I assume mainly Pinot Noir. Are you planting any Chardonnay or maybe some Pinot Meunier for sparkling?
That block behind you right now, that's at around 1,000 feet elevation, and then that's our Chardonnay block for our sparkling program. So It's already in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we initially planted Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Pinot Gris. And we'll continue with the Pinot and Chard plantings this spring. And then Dave is looking to experiment with some other like off varietals where he wants to, just try maybe an acre of like Gamay Noir or Aligote, Trousseau Noir, Syrah, things that I think... Meunier, yeah. And so just, we're looking to do this for 20, 30 years. And so we're looking forward and looking at what could potentially grow really well in this region. So yeah, it's exciting to be able to make those decisions now.
I don't know, maybe Frankish.
Oh,
Maybe.
interesting.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've never heard of that varietal. So tell me, what is that?
So Blanc Frankish is kind of a lighter, like a thin skin red grape, like from Austria. So It's more of a kind of you can make it into like a straight red also, but then it can be like chillable red and things like that, more easier, kind of approachable kind of red.
Ooh, well, that
Awesome aromatics.
yeah, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about 20 or 30 years. Like what are your all's vision for like the next 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, for us, starting out as an Instagram winery, that's what I say, because in 2020 we launched during the pandemic, and we weren't living in Oregon at the time. So Dave was traveling back and forth making his wine in the Willamette Valley. So that was 2020, and then 21 we purchased our property and just planted our first vines. We're in the works to build a tasting room and winery that should be complete by the end of this year. We're starting vineyard tastings, tent tastings on a deck out in the vineyard in our oak grove starting this summer, so Memorial Day weekend. And so once we have our tasting room open, we're looking to be a mainstay in Oregon and, continue to create community, because that's what's really important to us, and drawing from like the food and wine scene or the culinary scene in Portland and bring some cool chefs in. And so, yeah, lots of collaborations that we're looking forward to. And yeah, hopefully 10 years down the line, people will say, oh yeah, Cho Wines, I'm a member there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm just curious. This is a pure curiosity question. Any of the Silicon Valley Bank crisis stuff affect you all at all this week?
Yes, we're in it. No, I'm just kidding. We're not.
Okay.
So luckily, but there are some wineries I know that are affected by it. But luckily, yes, we didn't. Being a startup, yes, I'm sure there are worries. But
we're too broke to deal with that. For SVB to deal with us.
Yeah, no. It was just a pure curiosity. I mean, I haven't heard of any wineries that have been affected, and I think overall it's all in the short term looking okay, but in the long term, like what's going to happen with the wine industry portion of the banking, I'm very curious to see. Well, not curious, holding my breath that it all goes well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really unfortunate what's happening, and so yes.
Yes.
Thinking we're not.
Yes. Thank goodness. So you mentioned community, right? And I know, Dave, your mom was a single mom, running a restaurant and whatnot. I'm curious, what is one memory that really stands out to you that, stands out as the perfect example of community?
A community. So for me, growing up, a lot of my family and the cousins, like their families had all the parents, my aunt and uncle, they had restaurants growing up. So That means holidays, weekends, they're all working, and then we're not doing family meals and things like that. But when we do have them, they're like either during the weekday or just kind of random day. They're not busy. Just we get together and have crazy amount of food and just hanging out, but always like they're talking shop because they can't get away from their businesses. But still growing up listening to that, it's like, wow, they can't get away from their business. But now we're thinking about it, like in our family gatherings, we can't talk about we can't stop, we can't anything other than business and our ideas and all that stuff. So it's like that is kind of in a broken way is kind of a perfect community for me growing up.
No, it's I don't think it's broken at all. I mean, it is part of who you are. It is your passion, and it just shows through and through. And I think there's nothing broken about that whatsoever.
I remember marrying into the family, and the family gatherings after late nights, like after the business is closed, they'd sit down together and then they'd talk for like hours about the business. It's like, this is not normal at all. Can't we talk about anything else?
Right.
Well, how are you coping with that? How are you coping with that now?
Well, now that I've been in it for how many years is it? Like nearly 20 years now. It's just part of our second nature now, because the ideas are always flowing. We're always thinking about what's the next thing we're going to do. I think it's just both of us have spent half our lives. Well, I spent half my lives within it with their family. And so, yeah, it's definitely just normal now.
And now they have retired too. So
yeah,
they talk about it a little less now.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So obviously that community comes through, that sense of community comes through loud and clear with everything that you do. Is that kind of something that you intentionally set out to do, was to engage community with Cho Wines? And, you talked about the culinary, with bringing that in. I mean, what other ideas do you have of community to bring it all in for your Cho Wines family?
Yeah, so Cho has a second meaning. It's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the makeup of all living things. So that core philosophy, I think, flows through us. It's just something that's second nature to us. Before we even did the wine business, we were always hosting parties at our house. We're always hosting bottle shares. One day was going to Oregon State. All the Vitis Club members would all come to our house and share bottles. And so we were always sort of like the party central house, no matter where we went. Even in grad school, all our neighbors would gather at a house and play Catan and drink craft beers. And
our couches were always occupied, because sleep over and things like that.
So yeah, I think it's just part of our nature. And then going forward, Dave and I are actually heading up a Food and Wine Fest this May for Oregon Wine Month and Asian American Pacific Islander Month, because those two things are something that's very important to us. And we thought, well, we celebrate that anyway. And usually, we have like some sort of club release. Well, we're like, why don't we take it like 1,000-fold and then do like a big, huge party where everyone can join. And so
in our spare time.
In our spare time, yes.
Of course.
Yeah. So this May 20th, 21st, we're holding our first annual Oregon API Food and Wine Fest at Stoller Family Estate. And, it's just that whole spirit of bringing community to people who are like us, who are Asian American, who are in the wine industry, or who are also in the food industry, and just highlighting those businesses and showing, their integral role to Oregon's culinary, food, and travel scene. So, I think all those connections together will help grow our business as well, grow Oregon and the tourism industry here. And so we hope to be a part of that bigger Oregon community too, and contribute that way.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And, you're talking about the Asian American Pacific Islander Wine Professionals Group. Is that just something that you've been trying to get off the ground, or you're like, ooh, that's a great idea, and just start running with it and go?
Yeah, well, so there is a group called Asian Wine Professionals. When we launched in 2020, they had interviewed us for like an Instagram Live, and once May comes around, different press outlets are scrambling to find some content to post and stuff, and so we get those reach outs like late May, and they're like, oh, can we share about you? And so I was involved with the Asian Wine Professionals group, slightly, and then, thought, what, I feel like we should do something locally first and then branch out. And so I think that's where the idea came about. And there are less than 10 Asian American owned and run wineries that we're aware of right now. But a lot of times that Asian culture we hide. And so we don't come out and be like flashy and be like, hey, this is us. But we do. So we're like, well, we'll draw you out.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that is awesome. And, I just have to say, it is so nice that we're able to have all these events again and be in person, and like, we all missed it big time.
I know.
Agreed.
100%.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So outside of like everything that you're doing professionally, getting Cho Wines off the ground, planting a vineyard, building a winery, planning all these events. You also have 3 kids.
True. Yes.
I'm sure that I don't know how to ask this or whatnot, but do y'all take time to like have date nights together without any kids and just like no business or anything?
I don't know about no business, but I feel
We say it like that in the early part of the date night. All right, no business, just you and me, and then 5 minutes later.
I mean, honestly, any time away from the kids does feel like date night, and I think that's why we have fun with the business, because we enjoy spending time with each other, whether it's like through work or at the cellar, unless like I'm doing something stupid and in the cellar. Anyway, I really think that we just enjoy spending time with each other, and so it is like we're always dating, because like when we do our tastings at Hanok, we get to hang out, and then after we get to hang out with Peter and Son, and it is like date night. So I feel like we just make it work with the extension from the business, and so yes.
But also, the balancing family and business is always a struggle too. Like in a way that if we give too much attention to one, the other one will be
it suffers.
Yes, So
right, yeah, no, it's important to find that balance. I totally agree. And pardon me, I just wanted to make sure that you all were finding a balance and dating one another, because holy cow, you got so much going on.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a tad. We go to the gym together too, and so we make time. We try and we get time together. So
that's great.
Thank you for
worrying. I try. Have y'all given any thought to like what kind of legacy you want to leave your kids, or like anything of that nature?
I think the one thing is, I don't care if they do take on or not, of Cho Wines or Cho Vineyards later. They can make their own decisions with that. But, the one thing I want to kind of leave them behind is like, don't be afraid of trying anything. Just do it and figure it out. Also, you got to have grunt to actually stay with it. But, don't be afraid to try. So, I think that's the...
Yeah, it's actually the opposite problem that we have with our kids, because one night my oldest, in bed, I usually try and spend time with them, each of them, 15 minutes just before they go to sleep, debriefing their day. And my oldest had said to me, Mom, what if I lead just a normal life? And there's I don't do anything special. That was her worry. And I realized, wow, she's growing up watching mom and dad hustling and building something and growing something, and then maybe even feeling a little pressure that this is the life that she's going to need to lead. And I told her, you do you, and you can find your path. And it wasn't that mom and dad wanted to build something big to start with. It was just we were following our hearts and doing what we loved and pursuing that. And so that's all we ask of you. And so I think that calmed her worries a little bit.
Well, that's great. And that's beautiful. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she is so afraid to put anything that she does out there into the world. And I'm just, trying to not push her, but just nudge her a little bit. And I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But holy cow, she is very introverted and just like, nope, I don't want to do it. No, I'm not doing good enough of a job and all that good fun stuff. Yeah. So it's, I think it's always good to talk to other parents and see where their kids are at, and just, we're all
every kid is so different
so
too.
Different. Yeah. And I think it's embracing, when my oldest she was very timid when she was little. When she was 3 years old, and I'd go to these mom groups, and she would just cling to me, and I would try and nudge her away, go make friends. But then I realized that was making her cling more. And I realized, let's just give her space and let her cling. And when she's ready, she'll go. And when I gave her that space, she went. And so it's, I think sometimes just acknowledging those feelings can be really helpful in saying like our kids won't do recitals. They don't like performing. And we say, well, it's not a requirement. So we just want you to learn how to play piano.
Correction. They love performing in front of us.
In front of us. Yeah. But yeah, we grew up having, to do those things. And so, we're like, well, if you don't want to, it's okay. We respect you.
Yeah, no, and I try to do the same thing. It's just parenting. Oh my gosh.
I know.
It'd be nice if there was just a manual like winemaking.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
Winemaking is so much easier.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I heard a story on your first harvest, Dave, where you were punching down and you lost your car keys.
The very first one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you learn from that, and have you lost your car keys since?
Oh, luckily I haven't lost the car keys since then, but I learned that, winemaking is very different than what I've been doing growing up, playing music, playing soccer, working at a restaurant. I mean, all different, hard in its own way, but this is like just pure, like a lot of pure physical labor especially, because when I just started, I'm just a harvest intern. So it's a lot of manual work.
He called me and he was like, I went to go get lunch in the car and I lost my keys. I can't find them and I don't have lunch. Can you come help me?
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So I go rescue him. And then later the next day he goes into work and it had floated up to the cap.
CO2 baby. Woo!
That's awesome. Yeah. And I heard that you spent some time in Burgundy as well, right?
Yeah, southern part of Burgundy, more Macon, like more near Beaujolais area. But so went there. Was it soul searching thing?
Yeah.
I went to this monastery called Taizé.
It sounds so funny when you suddenly are like, so I went to this monastery.
Did a week of silence.
Right.
Hung out with monks and walked around a bunch, and then I don't know. It's just kind of, I guess you could see it as like a hippie thing.
Okay, so we have to go back to this. So when he was in college, there was this college group that had gone to Taizé, and we were dating at the time, and were engaged. And he really wanted to go, but he sort of lost the opportunity to go and wasn't able to. And so while we were married and I became a nurse and I was working, and he had dropped out of grad school because he was sort of soul searching and finding what his life's passion was. And so he was writing music at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was writing music and then had dropped out of school. And I told him, like, you really wanted to go to this, like, experience. Why don't you go? This is your moment. You're not tied down to school right now. So he went. And so that was like the 2-week experience where 1 week of it's like a co-op. So these young people from all around the world come to experience community with each other. See that community theme? And so you sing together, you prepare meals together, you gather around a table and use ingredients from the local farm that they're tending or whatever you call them. And so that was the first week. And then the second week was doing pretty much the same thing, except you were being silent. So you actually still had meals with people and made eye contact and prepared meals and did the dishes, but you were all in silence.
Just using
nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
And so it's just a moment to reflect and think. And so he used that time, and it's really fun to look at all his notes from then. And he came back such like a different person, like so reflective, thought before he spoke, and I was like, wow, this was really life-changing. And that lasted 2 weeks.
That's pretty good, 2 weeks.
It was pretty 2 weeks. But the experience was that, he just walked these are all things I heard from him, but where was that, like...
how far down in the rabbit hole do you want to go into with this?
How far do you want us to go with this story?
But along with that, and then after that experience, I traveled down to Lyon, which is the gastronomic, the capital of France, and then I got to experience all of that side, from like a monastery to like a more like a Lyon kind of more city, more food and wine type of deal. And
Right.
yeah, so I mean, those journeys kind of really play like a significant role in building up who I am right now, for sure.
Yeah, he had pictures of him staring at cows. Like he said, I'm sitting here staring at this cow. And he's like, I have those pictures. And then he also had gone to like this random hole in the wall restaurant that was in the countryside and asked for steak tartare. And they were like adamant that he did not want the steak tartare. He's like, no, that is what I want. And they're like, no, you do not. And they brought him like a well done steak.
It was a steak and frites. I'm like,
no.
at that point, I'm like, all right, fine. It was good. So
Yeah. No, and I have to say, on my bucket list is to do a week-long silent retreat. I think it'd be absolutely amazing. So, kudos for you for doing that.
I mean, the place to have a sugar mama when you're 20s.
That always helps. Yeah.
I know it does.
Yeah. And you spent some time at Soder too, correct?
Stoller?
Soder.
Not
Stoller.
Soder.
Oh, Stoller. I thought, okay. No, I guess I got confused.
Yeah. Well, I did go to Soder a bunch of times. Ate their like dinner and wine. Yeah.
I guess if you like combine all those experiences, sort of, right?
Of course. Yeah. No, I thought that you. Yeah. No, I thought you worked with Chris there a little bit at Soder, so that was.
No, not really.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my apologies. I messed up on that one.
Yeah, but he was at Stoller and Argyle, so he worked with Nate at Argyle.
Okay.
And Kate Payne Brown, Elizabeth, Stoller.
Yeah. So you got some great sparkling experience from Kate Payne Brown and from Nate, and that's
And
was that your?
Make a lot of bubbles.
I know.
Yeah.
So you have your Blanc de Noir right now, right? And what else are you experimenting with on that side of the fence with bubbles?
So bubbles. This year I made my first Blanc de Blanc, which will be tiraged later, and then it'll take forever.
Right.
Other than that, already I have Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris Pet Nat, and then also I just made a Chardonnay Pet Nat.
Ooh.
To expand that portfolio. Also, well, about Piquette, but also we made a apple grape co-ferment, which is like pretty much like a Piquette 2.0, but it's like after Blanc Noir pressing, there's a lot of juice in there still, and then some of the Blanc de Blanc juice in there, and then 7 different heritage clone, cider apples, co-ferment together in a big old tank. Pump overs, and we just bottled that, and Lois and I were having it yesterday. I'm like, yes,
it's really good. It reminds us of like a really high quality like French cider.
It's like reminds us like when we were in Normandy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to break a bottle open and drink together sometime soon.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be great. So you were in Southern Oregon this past summer, and you visited Troon. I'm curious, what did you think of Troon, and were you like on some sort of expedition or like exploratory mission or something?
Sort of both. Well, yes, that and both family time. So just balancing the two. And so we had met Craig Camp at the Crush on Oregon event. And he was just so kind, and he was randomly said, "Hey, if you want to stay at the cottage, come on down." And so he had graciously hosted our family at the cottage there, and we got to tour the farm and their winemaking operations. And what's his name? Is it Greg?
Nate Wall?
No, not Nate. The farm.
I
can't remember his name. Greg.
I can't remember.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Garrett Long.
Okay.
So he's the director of ag there, and he gave us a full tour of their farm because they're doing regenerative and biodynamic farming, and that's something that's really close to our hearts and that we want to move forward with at our vineyard too. And so we just wanted to explore a little bit.
Implement practices.
Yes, implement practices. But we're slowly realizing that all the things that we want to do are really expensive, and we have limited funds. So we're aiming towards that, and hopefully one day we'll be able to fully implement. And yeah, it's just experiencing what it's like to be on a working farm, vineyard, trying to incorporate, native flora and just embrace all of the good things and give back to the land. And so, yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was there the summer of 2021, and it's that area of Oregon is just absolutely amazing. And to hear that Tempranillo is growing at like 1,600 feet in elevation, I'm like, what?
I know,
it's crazy.
It's nuts.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I love what they're doing with the vineyard and the farm and all the animals. If you get a chance, well, I'm sure that have you been out to Antigua?
Antigua, I have not. I have had their wines,
okay.
But yeah,
right.
Beautiful wines, yeah.
Yeah, no, if you get a chance to visit Antigua, I mean, what they're doing, as far as, biodynamic regenerative practices, I mean, it is, to me, it's even more sophisticated than what Troon is doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll use your connection.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Coming back to community a little bit, and focusing on the Oregon wine community, in particularly. A couple of weeks ago, there was some, you all got together with Dan and Jean at Corollary and Kenny and Allison from Arabilis. It's amazing to see those sorts of collaborations happening and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you thought of, of that collaboration and, maybe another story or two of, of how the Oregon wine community has stepped up and helped you.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we were an Instagram winery. And my experience with the community was all via online. Dave was already, he had networked quite a bit during his 10 years here. But when I jumped into the business, I knew no one. And I knew everyone by their Instagram handle. So when we moved up here, I was like, I don't know who anyone is, but they all know who I am. And I feel really bad. And so it was amazing how many people stepped up and were like, we're so glad you guys are back in Oregon. If you need any help, if there's anything that, I can, assist you in, I'm here. And there were a number of people who said that. And so, I mean, I think that's just the spirit of Oregon. And then it's like that rising tide where, if we do well, we all do well. And so, I think that's just like the general theme that goes throughout. So it has been nice. And with Dan and Jean and Kenny and Allison, like all of us are sparkling producers. And so for us to sort of band together and be in that like third generation of winemakers with, lots of passion and energy. And, when we hang out, we're just always throwing off ideas and like, what's the next idea? What could we do? And so it's nice to have that community and to be able to taste through each other's wine and see where we're sourcing grapes and what we're each other is doing differently. So yeah, definitely there's that collaboration aspect.
Yeah. And then there's, really like winemaking is because, even if like other producer knows like exactly what I'm doing, the wine won't be same. Yeah. So I mean, so that's kind of like the fun part of it is like I can ask anyone like, hey, so what did you do with this one? And then they tell me exactly how they did it without any hesitation. So that's
right.
Knowledge is openly shared, experiences and wisdom. So I really love that aspect of the wine industry, specifically in Oregon.
Yeah,
and food and wine is so tied in because anyone who's a winemaker is a foodie at heart as well. And so, after
any good winemaker.
Good point. But we, after we got together, we were at Winters Hill and we just tasted through all our like sparkling base wines. And then we went over to Dan and Jean's place and he made like an awesome eggs benny. And it was so good.
We drank so much champagne. Oh.
And then that was the day I went to the Oregon Chardonnay celebration. So it was a good day for me.
Lois was feeling good already.
That's awesome. Like, yeah, no, I mean, you can't complain about anything like that at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kenny and Allison, we can't wait to see their label is Arabilis, and so they make wine in the same production at Bjornson that we do, and their sparkling isn't released yet, but you know everyone is in for a treat. So they're releasing their inaugural release this fall, so look out for that.
Yeah, most definitely. I interviewed them yesterday as well. So
Oh, sweet.
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
A
Very cool.
PhD in sparkling. I mean, wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, he was telling me, you know, it's just his dissertation was on sparkling and, you know, studying the different effects of, you know, how sugar manipulated the mouthfeel and everything for sparkling. It was pretty much dealing with demi-sec wines just because of the sugar, and just, I was just like, oh, so much nerding out. I loved it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Kenny's awesome with that.
Yeah.
Yes,
When we
yeah.
hang out, Kenny brings all the nerdy knowledge and we bring the fun. It's fun too.
Yes, no, yeah. Yeah, it's no, they have Kenny and Allison. They have a great story, you know, within themselves. So that was a great interview.
Nice.
Not to say that this isn't a great interview. It is too. I'm just
Dave and Lois, they're such a bore.
so awful. So I have a few rapid fire questions, and then you know I can let you off the hook if that works.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you know, both of you can answer if you want, or if one of you want to answer, it's whatever you want to do. So, first question is favorite artist to listen to during harvest.
Oh gosh. That's a hard one.
Well, this is not my original, but I heard it somewhere. But during Punchdown, it's like the initial track of Les Mis. Look down, don't look up in the sky. That one is a classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, I just listen to electronic pop all the time, so you know anything in that genre.
Yeah. That's what she
well,
does
that's
Instagram.
I don't know. Les Mis might be a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Favorite indulgent food.
Oh, sushi all the time. Yeah, I'm a big sushi fan, and chocolate. Anything,
Okay.
any desserts that are chocolate.
Raw
Very nice.
things.
Raw
All
things.
things.
Oyster. All that stuff.
Oh, have you explored oysters up in Washington any at all?
We have plenty of Washington oysters, yeah.
We
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
actually physically gone, but somebody who doesn't Andrew Alpin, don't they like do they get oysters up there?
Yes.
Yeah, they have like a cabin. So the owners of Laurel
Peaks.
Vineyard, Six Peaks, where we source our grapes, Andrew Albin is their son. We're good friends with him, but their family goes up. They have a cabin up there, and they go and get oysters all the time.
Crabbing.
Yeah, they go
shrimp.
crabbing.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been exposed to some hama oysters,
Yes.
you know, north of Olympia a little bit. Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
So good.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So our favorite oyster story is we went to New Tarts Bay and we went to the Navore shellfish house and got a huge bag of oysters. And then we took our propane
Little camp stove.
in our camp stove and took it to the beach. And we had don't tell anyone. We had
Well, this is being recorded.
Your secret's safe. I won't say anything.
I don't know if this is legal.
yeah, but we had Frank. What was it, Frank?
It was a Nitard in France.
Which champagne was it? The Frank. Anyway, so we had champagne and Argyle and
Savar.
Savart, yeah. And we grilled oysters with miso and sriracha, and it was amazing. So that's our favorite story.
Yeah,
Favorite
no, that's great.
Yeah.
Harvest notes, are they digital or handwritten?
Handwritten. Mm-hmm.
Other than what Lois posts up on Instagram and
Yeah.
things like that.
What did we do again? Let's scroll back on Instagram.
Yeah. Those are harvest
Yeah.
notes.
It is.
Yeah, that's great. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be?
Oh. cloning myself like multiple times so I could be in multiple places at once.
That would be great.
Yes.
I already have superpower right here. So.
Boom.
Hey.
And then who is your favorite superhero?
Superman. I'm Lois Lane.
Superman. Okay, perfect. And last rapid fire question is, what is the last book you read? If you have any time to even read a book.
You know,
Grape Whispers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Sorry, I don't read. I read journals of like winemaking stuff. I don't.
He listens to a lot of podcasts. So.
Well, and that's fine too. I mean, if you have a podcast.
Yeah, I'll listen to that by Levy Dalton.
I'll drink to
right.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that. Yeah.
I'll listen to that.
Oh, I'll drink to that.
Drink, listen, it's all the same.
We also listen to a small business podcast as well. I think it's based in like New Zealand or Australia. It's in Australia, yeah. But it's been helpful because like it talks a lot about how to grow your small business, and they interview tons of people and different strategies. And so yeah, when we have off time, we listen to that.
Long drives.
Oh, that's a good resource. I haven't heard of that one, so thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Small Business
Big Marketing.
Big Marketing.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, even better. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.